Well, thank you, Robin, for being with us today. And this is a chance for us to get to know you a little bit more. Um, there are many students who would like to know more about Robin Caton. It's my honor and a great privilege to invite Robin into this space. She was the previous dean, and she really got Dharma College going. So we're so thankful to Robin Caton and her husband, Kurt, for really establishing Dharma College in the heart of downtown Berkeley. So Robin has been a really key person in terms of Dharma College and all of its mission that is trying to get out into the world. And so today we're going to take an opportunity to get to know Robin a little bit so that if you're interested in taking one of her classes, you know a little bit more about her. So this is a great opportunity to get to know our faculty. Robin, welcome. Thank you for being in this space.
Well, thank you for having me. Of course, I love doing what I can to promote Dharma College and its wonderful teachings.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to start with a kind of an important question that I've been asking most of our faculty about what brought you to Dharma College? How did this journey begin for you?
Well, that's funny because I was literally brought to Dharma College by your father, Tarting Rinpoche, and it's a long story which I will not go into, but he did invite my husband, Kurt, and me. And this was all the way back in 2010, the very beginning of 2010, to, as he first put it, look around the school a little bit, look around the building. And then little did I know that we were actually being asked to be the first directors of the school. So that's how I got literally to Dharma College. Before that, I had been teaching his books. I had been an instructor at the Nyingma Institute in Berkeley for 10 years. But during all that time, I really didn't know Tartang Rinpoche. I got to know him when he was just opening Dharma College in downtown Berkeley and wanting us to become the first directors and to create the curriculum and to furnish the building and to hire staff and to buy computers and set up phones and infrastructure and all the things you have to do. It's very complicated to start a school. So that's how I got there.
And many of you who haven't been to Dharma College, it is a pretty fantastic historical building. It's situated right in the heart of downtown Berkeley. But you wouldn't notice that if you were inside because it's so quiet and it's so peaceful. And we have an incredible temple in the upper floor, but many classrooms, almost over, I think, close to 30,000 square feet of building. So it's a beautiful building. And thank you, Robin, for really getting Dharma College going. Now, as many of the students are starting their journey at Dharma College, what advice would you give a new student when they start their journey at Dharma College? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, I would say welcome. I think you're going to be starting a path that will not leave you for the rest of your life, because these kinds of teachings really begin to open our hearts and minds in a way that very hard to close them again. Once they move in a more positive direction, we don't really want to close them again. So that's one thing I would say. And another I would say at a very practical level is to go slowly. I've seen too many students who want to jump to the more advanced classes as soon as they walk in the door. Well, of course, they sound very exciting. They are very exciting. But I would say to people, if you are just starting out on this journey, start with a level 100 class, because these are designed especially for you, especially to say before we go too far into material that is going to possibly confuse us or challenge us a little too deeply, we need to deeply bring ease to body and mind. And that's what the level 100 courses that you, Wamo, are now teaching and that I've taught and Elon and others wonderful teachers have taught. That's what they're designed to do. They really are a foundation for the mind, for the senses, for the body, for the breath. And that is very important as we start this journey.
Now, how do you stay inspired and continue to grow in your own practice and teachings?
Well, I am constantly inspired by the people who show up in the classes I teach. I've just started 2-year-long courses this week, and the people are amazing. And being able to have the kind of discussions that we have, to practice together and feel the depth of that practice, even on Zoom, to be with people who are from all over the world. The class I started yesterday, someone's in Ireland, someone's in England, someone's in Brazil, someone's in Boston, someone's, it just goes on and on. Someone's in Montana, someone's in Germany. And there's something very energizing and inspiring and exciting about being in a group of people across the globe who are really interested in transformation, in goodness, in knowledge, in understanding the nature of who we are and what purpose we might have for living here and being together. So that inspires me very much. And of course, the teachings themselves and the books that Tartang Rinpoche writes and has written, they're gems. They're little gems of excitement and curiosity and transformation. So,
What would you say is one thing that might surprise your students about yourself? One thing that maybe your students don't know about you, but might surprise them?
well, I'm going to say this, but I have to say that when I told this to somebody years ago in class, they looked so disgusted and I don't think they came back. I like to read murder mysteries. So I think that might be surprising to people, but I really love the puzzle. It is not really violent ones, but kind of what they used to call English cozy mysteries, the Agatha Christie type of mysteries, and it's so relaxing.
Surprise for sure, even for me. Well, that's
Okay.
another spin. I think it's the mystery, Robin. Code, cracking the code. Now, finally, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Well, my husband and we have a little, uh, I would say, everyday ritual of just simply coming together at the end of the day, sometime around 5 o'clock, and whatever we've been doing separately during the day and in pursuing different interests or working on different projects, that's the time where we sit down. We probably eat too many snacks or whatever, and sometimes we watch the news and sometimes we just talk. We have a wonderful little dog, and so he's endless entertainment for us. So that's my favorite way of winding down. I also love to read, so even apart from murder mysteries, I'm reading novels all the time, and really wonderful, excellent novels are just, to me, they're like special candy treats at the end of the day. So.
Wonderful. Now, just a little plug in because I heard that you're working on a book. And just for students to know that she's also a writer and also a poet. So briefly, maybe you could share a little bit about what you've been involved with this year aside from teaching.
Well, I have a book of poetry that's just been published. The official publication date, I've been told, is the end of November. So I have a couple of advanced copies now. It's very exciting for me because the last book I published was over 20 years ago, and it's actually taken me 7 years to complete. From the time I started this book till now, it's been about 7 years. So that's exciting. And I've been working on that this year and bringing it to fruition with the publisher. And then I've been working on another, of course, I did do the editing of Gesture of Great Love. That was a project that wrapped up a year or two ago. And this year I've been working on another book at the request of Tartang Rinpoche. But I don't want to talk about it too much because it's really just in beginning manuscript form. And sometimes these things really do take quite a long time before they go through a process of writing and rewriting and editing and just reflecting. But it's been quite a challenge and quite a time-consuming project to be working on, and I'm still working on it. So,
And just finally, I noticed that your teaching style is much more intimate in terms of like seminar based. And I think that students would be so lucky to work with you, especially like this year, you have a Gesture of Great Love 4-year program, and then the Lotus Seminar, which is for more advanced students. But it seems to be that that's the format that you really like, is this participatory relationship between exploring where they're at in their practice and engaging with the material. Is that, could you speak to that a little bit?
yes, of course. I think that that's true. I think you really captured it very well. I first of all, I miss teaching in person, and that kind of energetic companionship that is established not only between the teacher and the students, but among the students themselves. They become friends, I found, always in the community, and they go out to lunch together or do something together. And that's something I really miss since the pandemic forced us to stop having our live classes. But Zoom, in many ways, and I talked about one, which was being able to have the international element, also has its exciting and positive aspects. And I like being able to see everybody on screen in these little boxes like you're in now. Of course, you're not really in front of a bridge, and I don't really live in Hawaii. This is not my picture window, although how I wish it was. Um, but I like seeing everyone in their environment, in their little picture. To me, it's like a series of Vermeer paintings of people in their kitchen or people in their bedroom, and where they're placed. I like creating a space on Zoom that feels like a classroom. I like talking a little bit and then not talking, asking a question, having people talk to each other across their rooms in Zoom. And I like the intimacy of starting a conversation and relating what we're talking about, especially to our own lives and our own bodies. And this isn't a psychological relating, so I'm not really asking people, tell me what you did yesterday, or where your pain is, but it's more a reflective experience for everybody. There's something profound that's been on the screen that Rinpoche has said in a book. And now we have a chance together to try to tease out the deeper meanings of what's there, rather than me telling everyone all the time, oh, this is what it means. And I think students really appreciate that kind of working together. I do think of it more like, in college, we had the large lecture classes, and then we had the small seminar classes. And I do think of my classes more like the smaller seminar classes.
Well, anyone who's interested in taking Gesture of Great Love this year, it's actually started, but Robin said that she's willing to extend it out for a couple weeks. And another blessing is that it's open to all. She's allowed students who normally it's in the 200 level, but because she's been the principal editor, she's opened it up to a wider group. And so those of you who are interested in Gesture of Great Love, we have the primary editor teaching the class for a year. And then the Lotus Seminar class, which is already started as well, is much more for advanced 300 level students who've actually gone through a year of the 200 level courses. So this is a chance to get connected with Robin. I do hope all of you who've been in the Dharma College community do get a chance to take a class with Robin. It's special, and she brings to the class much of her wisdom and her own life experience, which has been so rich, and to open into the space where all of us collectively can dive in and see how this matters in our lives. Thank you, Robin, for your time today. Really appreciate it. Thanks all for listening and watching.
Thank you too, Wamo.